This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
You are listening to the List Building Lifestyle Show. Welcome back, boys and girls, to another edition. We're about to fill your ear holes with some list building goodness. Here is Igor Kheifets.
Hey, Jonathan, are you excited about this episode, man?
Yeah, anytime we talk about anything I know about, I get excited because I don't know about much.
Well, as promised, I think it was the episode before last.
Yeah,
we're gonna be chatting about email, and specifically email versus Facebook, because this is really the question in everybody's mind today, especially the listeners of the List Building Lifestyle Show. You know, I've been preaching that email is the shit, just like a few other experts who know what they're talking about. But I was never able to provide, besides my own income, any scientifically proven data for that. So I've actually stumbled into some research that was done by MailMunch, which is I believe either a landing page company or an autoresponder company, but they have something to do with email and list building. And they've done extensive research about what's more profitable, email or Facebook or Twitter, but social media in general. But they took Facebook and Twitter as the two primary ambassadors of social media in this experiment. And to give you the short version, if you're short on time and you're listening just before you're about to step into work or something, email wins. Episode is over. We can wrap up. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Wait. No, Igor. Wait. Email cannot win because every time I look at a social media post and I see one of these pink-haired social media gurus, they're telling me email is dead. They say it all the time.
Oh, yeah, of course it's dead. Yeah, and here's why they tell you it's dead, by the way. It's dead because when they email, their open rates and click-through rates are really low. Now, we have seen an overall, across the board, decrease in open rates and click-through rates throughout the last couple of years. I agree, but that is not important. You see, the reason it's not important is because the only metric that does matter is whether people buy or not. And compared to Facebook and Twitter, where do they buy more? And so email has been, and this has been super consistent, it is the media where people are actually conditioned to buy. Okay, that's not something I needed this study to prove to me, but email is actually the media where people buy. Facebook and Twitter is not. Facebook and Twitter is sort of like the fanboy media where people will cheer for you, but they don't necessarily buy stuff from you. And when I tested Facebook ads, versus AdWords, by the way, versus SEO in Google versus Facebook ads, I noticed that Google leads are actually 4 times as profitable.
What?
Yes, I'm killing my Facebook ads budget.
No kidding.
Yes.
Because they're doing a search, right? It's intentional.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So Facebook is overrated. It's just so overrated, it's ridiculous. And whoever tells you that Facebook is the next best thing since sliced bread or the microwave, they have no idea what they're talking about, and I bet they don't have any data, any really smart data to prove it, because all they're tracking is Facebook, right? They can't really compare it to anything else. Now, so email is the media where people actually buy. That's one. And we can see it by the amount of money produced every year from email versus the amount of money produced off of Facebook. Now, some of the specific stats that were presented in this study, which fascinated me, are as follows. Now, first off, having 2,000 email subscribers is not the same as having 2,000 fans, and here's why. It turns out that back in 2014, and I already knew that it happened, I just did not know how horrible it was. Back in 2014, Facebook decreased your organic reach to just 6%, which means if you got 1,000 friends on Facebook, only 4 to 6 of them will actually see your message. Will actually see your status update. Can you believe that?
That's ridiculous.
I mean, the kind of dick you have to be to do something like that is incredible. Now, of course, why would Facebook do that? Very simple. Ad revenues. They want you to advertise with money if you want to reach people. Now, here's another funny bit. Well, it's funny to me, tragic to anyone who relies on Facebook. If you got a really, really rich fan base, like your fan page has a rich fan base on Facebook, your reach is further decreased to 2%. 2 freaking percent. Okay? That's just wow. Wow, it's just so painful for me. I mean, as a marketer, right? As somebody who wants to reach as many people as possible, the same amount of time and effort it takes me to write, say, a long Facebook post versus a long email, my email will reach more people. And they're going to be better people to reach. They're going to be buying more. And overall, I'm going to be making more money. So another data which they provided, again, fascinating article, and if you wanna check it out, go to mailmunch.co/blog email marketing versus social media. So the other statistic they provided is average click-through rates for each channel. Check this out. Email marketing 3.57%, which doesn't sound impressive, right? Until you learn what Facebook produces. Facebook is producing 0.07 of a percent.
Imagine buying clicks there.
It's ridiculous. Now Twitter is last on that list, and it's 0.03%. Now that's nothing. That's that's nothing. You got no reach. Now another report, which they don't necessarily provide a source of, or do they? Well, I'm gonna just take their word for it. 66% of online consumers made a purchase as a result of an email marketing message.
66%?
Yeah, 66%. Whoa. That's a lot, which tells you that the vast majority of revenues is still being produced from email. Now, so we now understand, we know, we have some proof that email is the best. The question that's on your mind is, for how long? Right? Can it remain that way, even though it has been able to remain the most profitable media? In my opinion, email is going to remain a really powerful player, and I plan to further develop and build on my email marketing efforts throughout the next couple of years. In fact, for the next 5 years, I'm going to be probably investing more money in email than I have been up until this point, and I really hope, Jonathan, and this is me just wishful thinking, but I really hope somebody will come in and tax email.
Tax?
I really
email?
hope.
That way
yes,
we can get rid of the
yes,
chumps?
Exactly. Thank you. I really hope they come in and they tax every email you send out. So
no thanks.
90% of amateurs just get out of that inbox. And it will increase the CTR, it will increase the open rates again. And we're going to have ourselves a really, really powerful medium.
I don't agree with any kind of taxation because that's just the kind of guy I am. But when you say that you are going to invest more in email, I don't know if I totally understand, and maybe the list builders are wondering the same thing. What does that mean? What do you have to invest into email? You have an autoresponder that you pay for monthly, and you type an email. What does that mean?
Well, for one, autoresponders come at different costs, right? There's some autoresponders that are fairly cheap, like Aweber, but there's some autoresponders out there like Infusionsoft or Maripost that are far more expensive. And I'm just saying that I will not shy away from paying more money for an autoresponder because I will fight for my delivery rates. Now, this is not to say that anyone who charges more money necessarily will deliver better, but I am not afraid. I'm not going to be shying away from throwing money at it to test it out and see who delivers better. And even if it means paying more money to get that delivery, I am willing to take the bite, to basically bite the bullet, because I understand how powerful email is. Because I know that most of my business comes from email. These are my most profitable leads, and a lead that comes to me from my emails is probably much more likely to take me up on an upsell or remain a client for a long time than somebody who found me through a different source, such as a Facebook ad or something like that.
Okay, so I'm going to get a little geeky. So what are you using now, just because everybody loves tools? You said Aweber. Is that the only one you're using now? Or are you using Infusionsoft? What are you guys using?
Well, something you should know about me is that I learned back when I lost a bunch of my accounts, and especially back when I lost my Aweber account with 100,000 leads in it, I have learned my lesson not to keep all my eggs in one basket, because you can literally have your entire income wiped out overnight, even though the autoresponder companies cannot tell you what to say to an extent as much as the social networks can, you still, like, while you own that media in a way, you can still be shut down. You will keep the leads and you can re-import them somewhere, but that specific company can shut you down because they don't like you. There's no law that prevents them from doing that. Now, I have at any given point about a good half a dozen, if not more, autoresponders running at the same time. Okay, so Aweber is definitely one of them, but it's not my preferred weapon of choice. In fact, you'd be surprised, but I'm using an Israeli autoresponder right now that's really, really good. It's sort of like what Aweber used to be 10 years ago, only it's not abused because it's in Hebrew. So the general marketplace, if you will, does not know it exists, and even if they knew it exists, they cannot use it.
Okay, yep. So you're hedging your bets. Yeah. Okay, got it. And so another question to go along with that, not to take you too far off track. This is for sometimes I just like to ask questions for myself. I don't care about the listeners. So sorry, listeners, this is for me. But all right. So do you use any automation software going along with your Aweber or any of that other stuff?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this can take you from being a fairly decent list builder to being a really good one, if you set up smart automation. So as far as automation is concerned, if you're using Aweber, you got AW Pro Tools. If you would like to set up automation for scarcity and deadlines, you can use something like Deadline Funnel, I think, by Jack Bourne, which is a pretty cool software. There's also another software which you can use by Jim McKim. I don't remember what it's called, but it allows you to create like 4 different things in your emails, including scarcity. There are some automation rules inside Aweber, inside GetResponse, which they kind of built in as a default thing. But my favorite automation tool by far is Zapier. It's pretty cool because not necessarily because it creates automation within my autoresponder account, but because it creates automation integrating all the services I use. Like, I use about 12 different services when it comes to managing my traffic business. So Zapier literally connects all of them together into one breathing organism.
It blows my mind. I'm sitting here thinking about all the stuff because after I learned from you about Zapier, I started using it, and so now that's a part of my business, and it ties into my CRM, it ties into my project management, it ties into my autoresponder. It is pretty amazing. So that's a bunch of nerd talk that we did not need to do. So back to email versus Facebook or versus social media in general. So what is the purpose of social media then? Because when we were talking before we got on the air, you said you cut out a lot of your social media.
Yeah, I decided to. I mean, that's why you don't see me updating my Facebook posts anymore. I just recognized that if I have 24 hours in the day and I can choose to invest the same, say, hour of effort into something, I would prefer for that something to be the one activity that brings me the most ROI. And considering how social media has pretty much the lowest possible ROI after watching YouTube videos, or something like that, then I decided to get off social media, or at the very least to be there strictly like for a very strict amount of time every day, like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So I don't update my posts anymore. I don't necessarily scroll through my newsfeed. In fact, I disabled the newsfeed a long time ago. I don't have the newsfeed anymore, so it doesn't suck me in because that thing kind of sucks you in. I removed Facebook from my phone.
Whoa.
Yeah, at first I disabled the notifications on my phone, and then I just removed it altogether, so I can't log in on Facebook through an app on my phone. Moreover, once I did that, I was like, man, what am I doing with my time? So I went ahead and I deleted a bunch of games from my phone too, like Swamp Attack and Candy Crush, and Angry Birds. All that stuff is gone.
How did you have time to build the solo ads business and all that?
Well, trust me, somehow I managed to find time to play games, and now I feel like a total jackass for doing that because I can't say for sure, but I probably found that time when I was not working. When I was with my family at the dinner table, whatever, I probably did it back then, and it just hurts me to think of all the time I wasted, not just on social media and games, but in general. So that's why, in order to maximize my ROI and get more done and have, I guess, not even get more done, but have higher impact, have better impact on what I'm doing and on the community and on my business and on my life, I'm just choosing to maximize my time by focusing on the highest ROI activities. And when it comes to choosing between email and Facebook, I choose email. Now, what do we need Facebook for as far as marketers? We can create conversation. We can just stay in touch with our audience. We can allow our audience to cheer, for our brand. But Facebook is not a brand building tool. It's not a marketing tool, really. I mean, I see a lot of people, they use Facebook as a quote unquote branding tool by posting motivational, quotes on Facebook. Exactly. That's
only
exactly
on video.
what I'm
Only
thinking.
on video you get that.
That's such an incredible waste of time because it doesn't brand you, it doesn't help you, it doesn't make you money. You're just literally wasting your time, photoshopping these quotes into images of lions and beautiful sunsets.
That's too good. Yeah, you know what? You're inspiring me. In Strategic Coach, we talk about unique ability and really spending more time in your unique ability. And that's the same thing you're talking about, high ROI activities. And that's what I'm finding too. Like I looked at my week last week and Cupcake was sick. I had to watch Dong way more. I only got 17 hours of work done, and I started looking at, all right, what's going to have the big impact? Am I going to go look at Facebook, or am I going to go ahead and run these ads? Am I going to go write these emails, or am I going to go check YouTube? So really, you don't need more time in your day. That's the secret, right? You have plenty of time in your day. It's where are you choosing to focus those bits of time? And I like the fact that you have realized, because that was painful for you, but you realized that you were probably taking time away from your family to be a goof off. And now by focusing, you don't have to do that anymore. Or I don't think you have to do that.
Well, at some point it became such an incredibly deeply rooted habit that I still do it sometimes. I still, when I feel bored or when I don't have anything to do, my hand reaches for the phone. But I'm trying to do less and less of that and try to kind of unlearn this habit and maybe replace it with something else more productive, because whenever I'm on social media, I'm not present with my family, and that really hurt the quality of the time I was spending with my family. Not only that, once I do that and I feel bad about it, all of a sudden now I'm finding myself guilt tripping for an hour for being such a shitty dad. Not only do I work a lot, and when I do work, I give my work like this priority and don't disturb me sort of attitude. And when I'm with my kid, because I consider this to be leisure time, I'm allowing myself to get on social media, and I'm hurting my relationship with my child. And not to mention the signal you're sending to your kid when she runs up to you and you're like, yeah, honey, just hold on, just 1 sec. Yeah, sure. And you're like not present with them. And it just hurts, hurts to remember how big of an ass I was.
So real quick, have you read Battle for the Mind? You got to read that, Igor. Battle for the Mind by William Sargent. It's about brainwashing, and I think we're all brainwashed by social media. That's what I think. The little red light, we're addicted to that. Pavlov's response. But as we're wrapping up, because we're coming close to the end of this episode, anything you want to say in closing?
Well, and that's about covers it when it comes to email versus Facebook. I'm happy to report that email wins. Okay, I'm holding email's hand right now and raising it as the champion, and Facebook is lying on the floor, lying on the mat, beaten to death and bleeding from its nose. So thank you again for tuning in for another edition of the List Building Lifestyle with your hosts, Igor and Jonathan. And until next time we chat, have a good one. Thank you for listening to the List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is the podcastfactory.com.